Hi folks, and che mi la folce. Riding season is upon us and the weekend rides are coming back strong. So in this video I want to cover some of the basic pre-ride checks that you should be doing, especially if you're getting your bike out of winter storage, just to make sure that your bike is in tip-top condition before you go out and enjoy your ride. Let's get right into it. Now, some of the things on this video might be common sense, some others might be obvious, right? But there's a few things that you might miss, right? And I think they could be very important that you just take 5 minutes, do a pre-ride checkup, make sure that everything is working as it should. And no, this is by no means a fully mechanical comprehensive checkup or anything like that. It's just covering the basics, right? So you know you can get out and ride safely. In terms of safety, what is the number one thing that you should be checking before every ride? Of course, tires, specifically tire pressure, right? But we won't stop there. So of course, number one thing, grabbing a tire pressure gauge like this, right? It's a manual one, right? Very inexpensive or something like that. That will give you a nice little reference. Or if you get a little bit more fancy, a digital one, right? And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Hey, I do have TPMS on my bike, right? So the bike will tell me the pressure. Yes, it will, but you have to ride a little bit before it will give you an actual reading, right? Ideally, you want to take that measurement even before you leave your house, right? So quick check, you know, it takes 2 seconds, right? Make sure that the pressure is within accepted ranges, right? You don't have to be absolutely crazy with this, right? So the GSS, for example, have a 36 PSI at the front and 42 at the rear. If your bike is reading, I don't know, 35 and 41, that wouldn't be too concerning. But again, if you have 32 and 38, something like that, right? That would be, you know, hey, we need to put some air back on the tires, right? The closer you can get, the better, right? But my point is, don't go absolutely crazy, right? If the whole thing is reading, I don't know, 35.2 or something like that, right? That's absolutely fine. The idea is to catch a tire if the pressure is going low. If you can't remember the specs on your tire pressures, you can always open up your little compartment on the 1300 GS, and that is your details there. Now, if you stop your bike for a long period of time, you know, let's say a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months, or whatever it is, right? Especially if it is throughout the winter where temperature might change inside your shed, your garage, whatever you have, it's not too crazy for the tires to drop a little bit of pressure. But if they lost a lot of pressure, right, then that raises other questions. Do I have a puncture? Is the material degrading of the tire itself, right? A lower tire pressure could mean a couple of things, and that is why I want you to actually not only check the tire pressure, but also have a visual inspection on your tires, see how the thread is looking, right? See the pattern. Do you have, you know, the minimum requirement on tires? I think it's about 2 millimeters, right, on the thread. If you have a couple of calipers, it's easy enough to measure. Again, you can also buy a specific tool to kind of measure tire depth. And also, as we saw on a previous video, right, on how to choose your tires, check on the date stamp, right? Because it's very easy if your bike is, you know, whatever, 5 years old or something like that, it's very easy to forget about the date of your tires. And normally you want to be keeping an eye on your tires to see what's the age, right? According to some manufacturers, every probably 6 to 7 years, you should be replacing your tires regardless of the threads or the condition of the tire itself. So let's say that you don't ride your bike too much every year, right? And your tire is like 10 years old. And when you go back and you want to get out on the bike again, the tire pressure is very low. It could be that the material is actually degrading, could have some cracks at some point, right? And could be losing air. So that is the type of things that you want to catch before you get out on a ride. Because imagine if you didn't check the date of the tire or the pressure, right? And you go out riding with the all rubber and you go out up to highway speeds, whatever, you know, 100 kilometers an hour, 120 kilometers an hour, whatever it is, right? That tire could actually fail and the results could be catastrophic. So if you do your pre-ride checks, it is stuff like that you can actually catch on time, right? And potentially save your life. So you checked your tires, they're good to go. And now the next thing is to stop the bike, right? And of course, since I'm down here, let's check on the brakes. On a bike, it only takes 2 seconds to have a quick visual inspection to see what's the life on your brake pads, right? So especially on the front wheel, it's easy as turning the bars to the sides and making sure that you get a nice quick look at the brake pads, right? Very easy to do. And then, you know, there you're good to go. Obviously, while you're in there, make sure that everything is dry, all the fittings and everything where the hoses are, there's no leaks, no anything like that. If you do see a little bit of rust on the disc, don't worry about that too much, unless obviously it's pitted or something like that, right? If you run your nail, right, it should be, you know, pretty smooth, right? You shouldn't feel any deep grooves or anything like that on the disc themselves. Like I said, a little bit of rust, no problem whatsoever. Once you get going and brake a couple of times, that rust will be gone. Just to give you a closer look, here is what a brake pad actually looks like out of the bike, right? So this is out of my old K100. As you can see, this is the backing plate. You see the markings. This is where the piston of the brake actually pushes, right? And this is the material that actually rides on the disc itself, right? So this will be wearing out, right? You can see the grooves, right? That will be riding on the disc. And this is what you want to be looking at. This is a pretty good brake pad, right? This has a lot of life left. But if you get anywhere clear the backing plate there, that's when you want to be considering changing your brake pads. While we talk about brakes, obviously a quick look at the fluid level and the color, right, of your brake fluid, right? So this is your master, of course, right? It's right by the brake lever. And this should be a little bit of yellow, transparently and everything like that. You don't want it to be dark. Obviously on the camera there, it looks dark, but I can tell you it is absolutely fresh, right? I just got the bike service. So make sure that you do have a good level, right, on your brake fluid. At the back on the 1300, you have this little inspection window there, and you can see, of course, the level there. And again, it's a little bit yellow, right? Transparent, it's all good. But of course, make sure that you check the fluid on both brakes. Last but not least, make sure that you know, you have good pressure on your brake. You can move the bike back and forth a little bit, make sure that the brakes are, you know, braking and the pressure is good. So that would be the last check. Of course, do the same thing with your brake pedal at the back. While we are on this side, make sure that the throttle moves freely. There's no issues here, right? It snaps back completely normal. If it is a little bit sluggish or anything like that, make sure that you check on that, because that could be very dangerous. If you have another bike that is not a GS and you do have a throttle cable, also make sure that you have a little bit of free play, right? So the throttle should move about 2 millimeters, right, from this to this, right? So it should be just a little bit. What people do is put a little bit of tape, right? Just mark it, got it, and then you can measure the difference between the throttle just moving freely, right, again, without engaging the tension of the cable, and that will give you that free play, right? Definitely check your manual to see what specifically is for your bike, but just to give you an idea. On the clutch side, on the GS, we are fortunate enough that this is hydraulic, right? So there's no cables or anything like that. It's just, again, fluid. There is no window on the clutch master, so unfortunately we cannot check the fluid there, but normally that's good. You shouldn't worry too much about that unless you have an issue with the clutch itself. But something that you could check, especially if you have a different type of bike with an actual, you know, kind of manual clutch, is the free play on your clutch lever. As you can see, I can lightly press and that should move at around 2 millimeters, right, before it starts engaging. So this is just free play. As you can see, I can lightly press and the lever moves. The hydraulic ones, there's no adjustment. They just automatically adjust, right, for the wear. We talked about the controls, of course, your throttle, your brake, your clutch, everything else, right? And of course, everything goes through all these cables going around the triple tree and everything like that. So make sure that all the cables run loose, that you can turn the bars left and right and nothing is getting caught, right? You can turn on the bike, move the bars, and make sure that the bike is not accelerating. If you have a cable clutch, right, grab the clutch, move the bars, make sure that the bike doesn't want to go, you know, forwards, just to make sure that all the cables are nice and secure, everything is tight, everything is secure, and the cables are not getting caught with anything, right? This one could sound silly, but make sure that your side stand is working perfectly fine, right? There's no play or anything like that, that it actually holds up. You can put it down and the whole thing stays. Depending on for how long you actually park your bike, especially if you live very up north where you get a lot of snow, right? Definitely make sure that you open up your gas cap and give it a quick smell. See how it actually smells, right? Because now these days, the fuel can actually go bad in a couple of months, right? So if it smells weird or a little bit vanishy, you might want to put maybe fuel stabilizer or drain your fuel and put new fuel, stuff like that, right? Depending on how you actually winterize. This one is smelling very expensive right now. One that is very important and very easy to forget about is your lights. So make sure that you turn on your bike, make sure that your lights are working, your high beams, your indicators, left and right, and if you have it, the hazards. Do not forget about the rear with everybody's favorite lights. Make sure that the brakes are working, front brake, rear brake, left blinker, right blinker, and hazards. If you have a chain, first of all, ew. But if you do, make sure that it's well lubricated, the tension is correct. Just spin around your wheel, make sure that the chain moves freely, right? There's no links that are actually hard or anything like that, right? Again, lubrication and everything like that. But yeah, that's something that you should definitely be checking on your chain. But then again, final drive. Last but not least, you should be doing a quick visual inspection on your fluid levels, right? So obviously oil and coolant. For that, if you have a 1300 GS like mine, you can check my previous video on how to do the basic maintenance, right? We talked about that already. But if you have any other bike, please go out and refer to your user manual, right? It will tell you how to check the levels, right? And how to make sure that it's somewhere in between the minimum and maximum. Again, don't go too crazy. It doesn't have to be exactly at the maximum level, right? Anywhere in between the minimum and the maximum, right? Hopefully somewhere in between, that would be absolutely fine. If you do that quick visual inspection, right, definitely worth going through those checks. Again, 5 minutes, it's all it will take, right? Especially once you get into the whole exercise, right? It will get you up and close. Maybe even if you're not too mechanically inclined, right? You can start having a look and try to identify some of the components on the bike, you know, stuff like that, right? The idea is to make sure that you do a quick once over. Then again, like I mentioned, exercise common sense as well, right? If you haven't ridden your bike for more than a month, take it easy for the first, whatever, 10, 20 kilometers. Feel the bike, make sure that the tires are doing good, brakes are doing good, gears are doing good, suspension is working okay, right? Once you do that, then you can go out, enjoy your ride, and coming back safe and sound. So there you have, folks, a quick and easy video. Hopefully the whole thing to you, it sounds very obvious, right, and common sense, but if you at least get 1 or 2 ideas out of this, then to me it will be an absolute win, because it means that it'll make you ride a little bit safer, right? So, and that's again the whole point of the video. So hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you like it, and I'll see you folks on the next one. Thanks.